Oh, look at that. We've been recording for 3 seconds.
A whole 3 seconds. Okay, here,
Do,
watch this.
do I need to get into Discord as well and go in the
Oh
voice
yeah,
channel?
why not? I'm gonna put this on there just as a. Wow, we'll see if this works now, Allison.
I hope it does.
This has been a journey.
Do I need to mute myself on Discord or anything?
No.
Okay.
So we're in Discord if people want to watch there. We're in YouTube
But no,
if you want to watch
listen.
there.
Listen
Oh yeah, you're going to listen to
Discord.
Discord.
If you want to see us.
Shirley said it looks good. She said she wants some
Yay!
popcorn. I need some popcorn. It's 10:30 a.m. That feels too early for popcorn.
Oh,
doesn't it?
you know what, Chris? You would be so proud because my kids eat popcorn every single day after school as a snack. And they each get their own bag.
As they should.
A whole bag of popcorn for both of them, for each child.
I'm proud of them.
I am too. I was like, oh, following in your Uncle Chris's footsteps.
Old man popcorn. Who is that old bald man that likes popcorn, Mom?
Oh goodness.
Oh, Angie said it sounds good too. You don't
good. So is this better than all of them?
Angie. You don't know the struggles. What took so long was we were trying to figure out how to do a private stream, which we still haven't figured that out. So this is public on YouTube right now because whenever I sent out the private link, it was just like, no, nobody can look at this. Nobody's gonna be able to see this.
Don't forget to hit record on QuickTime, Chris, right now.
Oh yeah, I guess I should do that too.
No, because we have to record locally. This is a whole big mess. Chris is like, let's complicate things.
Well, you gotta test stuff out sometimes. You don't know how it's gonna work out.
I disagree.
You test run some stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
Pro life.
Both look very clear.
For once, we're both clear.
For once, they're like, what? This is what Chris looks like? He's not all pixelated.
That pixelated trash.
He's actually kind of handsome. I don't know.
Except for his face. He's Let me see. So I can do this. Oh, look at it. We can really zoom in.
I don't like that.
I can do this. What's the difference between this and that? That's the same.
Nothing.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
much better. Oh.
You see the gray in your beard really good this way.
Oh, yeah. Do you see these grays? The grays are going crazy these days.
I see them.
I'll put you back up there. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take, but there's definitely a concentration of grays just make their way in. My eyebrows are actually going partially gray, and my eyelashes.
Are you going to, your eyelashes are?
I have a couple gray eyelashes.
That is crazy. What, are you going to dye your beard?
Nah, I'm going to let it go.
Let
it be natural.
Okay.
I wanted to be centralized. I don't want it to be like this half is gray and then this half is black.
That would be
I
awesome.
wouldn't like that. I would like some concentration. If my body could just design a nice pattern, then we'll be good.
I'm really sorry about my dog.
That's fine.
I can't control him. He's crazy.
Dogs are a dog. They're a dog.
I don't even know what he's barking at. I don't know what to do. I do not know what to do.
He's just living his best life.
Actually, no. He's like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to put him outside real quick?
You do whatever you want to do.
If he keeps barking, I'm going to put him outside. Okay. Anyway.
So, but yeah, we're trying out this because Riverside was not working for our live streams. Mm-hmm. I don't know what was wrong. I think it was wrong. Chris was wrong. Recording. It wasn't meant for pushing it out live. I think that was wrong, so.
That's true. I would agree with that.
Let me go in here and let me start my recording, I guess.
You haven't started your recording? I've got all of this recorded.
Well, this is supposed to be recording us too, so but I don't know. It's new, so I don't want to risk it.
Yeah,
So
let's not have that be the only thing.
All right.
I'm gonna go put my dog out. I've got to do it. I'm sorry.
Okay, go put your dog out.
He's excited about something. I don't know what it is.
All right, I'm gonna make you little. How do I make you little? There you go. Now Allison's little. I need to move this thing over here. Oh yeah, so Beth Ann, so yeah, you can type over here now. So if you type on this side, you could do it too. I don't know. This is all new. We're figuring this out as we go. I don't know if it's better to just do the text or the texting, the typing in Discord, or if we want to move it over to YouTube because we're here. I don't know. I'll let you all decide what you want to do. But here we
go. What nonsense are you saying about me?
No, because Beth Ann said we can type over here. So I was like, I don't know. Do we want to have people type in Discord? Do we want to have them type over here?
I don't know.
It's up to you all. We'll let you decide where you.
I have both pulled up.
Yeah, we got both. We got Discord open. We got YouTube open over here.
Very exciting.
Take your pick. Take your pick.
Okay, Chris, I'm excited about this episode.
I know you are. I'm excited that this is actually working now, so now I can relax a little bit.
Yes.
And stop stressing about all this.
While Chris was freaking out about how we were going to record today and how he was going to complicate things.
Oh, hold on. Wait, hold on. Before you do that, one, let me hit record. I'm still not recording.
Oh my gosh.
And then two, we need a clap. We got to sync this up.
Okay.
All right, you ready? You got to do our clap here.
Okay, here we go.
1, 2, 3, clap. All right.
Very good. Where are the claps? Where are the claps, people?
Got it.
I don't see any. Oh, there we go. There are the claps. Okay. So while Chris was trying to get this whole system set up and he was like, let me complicate something as soon as we get it figured out. Let's make it more difficult, right? Yeah, I was over here brainstorming what we should talk about. And I came up with 2 ideas, and Chris was adamantly against one of them.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and tell them both ideas?
I'll tell them both ideas. So here was my first idea. My first idea for what we could talk about was like advice we've been given, both bad advice and good advice in our life. And if we could go back in time, what we would like tell our past selves. Like if you could go back in time, tell your past self something, right? Like
I like that idea.
The other one was like how I said the juicy details and Chris was like, it's not juicy details of how we basically like decided to quit our regular jobs and have these like weird jobs that we do. And Chris said, no, that's boring. We're not talking about that. Right? That's what you said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
That's exactly what he said.
I was like, I don't know. Is that really interesting? I was like, I said, I don't really care about people starting businesses. But then as I thought about it though, I really like that show How I Built This, that podcast. And that's what they do. They talk about these stories of people building these businesses. But that's very specific. I go there for that. And so I was like,
I think it's just interesting because I like hearing stories about like people's lives. And I guess it's like a part of our life.
Oh, because you're nosy. That's right. I remember now.
Some people call it nosy. Some people call it interested in others. Right?
Okay. Interested in others. That's a nice way of putting that.
Anyway, we could talk about either one today. So let us know what you want. Do you want advice or story time?
Yeah, if you have any thoughts on that, let us know because we'll go either way. I think I see Shirley chatting right now or typing. I'm going to sit down because I don't know why I'm standing.
Why are you standing?
I don't know, Allison. I decided to stand for some real reason.
We could also, Shirley agrees with me.
Really?
Yeah, and she's usually like you. Y'all are
Shirley. We're normally on the same page.
I know, but she agrees with me. She does.
I don't like this change.
Maybe. I love it.
I don't like this at all.
Okay, Angie, what do you think? Beth Ann, what do you think? I am shocked. Shirley says, I am shocked.
We're normally so in sync. I don't know what's happening here.
That's funny. I love it. Story time with Uncle Chris and Auntie Allison. Okay, Chris, story time. Scrap everything we said that we were going to talk about. It's story time. Do you want me to go first?
Wait, what's story time?
Story time is the story of how we left our regular jobs to do this weird thing where we, sit at our desks and talk to each other from across the United States. I mean, it's even really just how we met each other. Like, think about it. If we hadn't done something else, you and I would never be friends.
That's true. I think about those life decisions all the time. all the time. And I'm like, you know what?
Anyway.
You let me finish. I was like, I'm very happy that we did get to connect.
Oh, okay. That's where you were going. Okay. See, listen, I think it's interesting to hear how people start businesses and leave jobs. Chris is not really working at his job. Chris is helping his job out.
First of all, this is a live stream, so I would like to say I am working at my job. Okay, I don't want.
Oh, you're right.
Thing. I'm not working. I am working. All right.
Yes,
my boss did this. I am working.
Working.
I mean, not today, but I when the days I'm supposed to be working, I am working.
That's true. That's true.
Go ahead. Yeah, kick us off for story time.
Okay, so I, growing up, decided pretty early on, I guess, that I wanted to be a teacher. And I don't know why I decided I wanted to be a teacher.
Was like a teacher that inspired you or something? Was it like
so that was part of it. My third grade teacher was like, I don't know, just really nice and kind and always made me feel like I don't know. I just really liked my third grade teacher. And then I went to high school and I had a high school English teacher that taught me both in my freshman year of high school. And that was just a really rough year for me. I was going through, suicidal thoughts, depression, all these things. And she was very much like a really positive anchor at school. And then by the time I became a senior in high school, actually, I think a junior, she had moved up and was teaching juniors and seniors. So I got to have her like 3 years of my high school, 2 or 3 years of my high school career, which was really awesome. Oh yeah, I had her as a junior teacher. Then she was supposed to retire, and then she went and worked for the community college, and then stayed at the high school teaching dual language classes.
No wonder you want to be a teacher. Like having a good teacher makes you want to be a teacher, I think.
Yeah. So 3 years of, just and I thought, do I want to be an English teacher? And I was like, no, it sounds like a lot of reading and work, right? So like, just like staying up and I even enjoyed like English class so much that my friend Rebecca, I don't think my mom knows this, paid me $100 and I wrote her research paper and got 95 in high school. Sorry, Miss Perales. And because I had turned mine in already. Like I enjoyed it. So anyway, I decided I want to become a teacher. Go to college to become a teacher. Everything's good, whatever. I start teaching. I'm like, year 1, I'm like, wait, what? This is what I'm doing. This is really hard. Like, this is not what I expected. Yeah. Year 2, Matt and I were engaged, and I had a teacher who was like a mentor to me. I will never forget. I called her up and I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And she brought me and Matt dinner and sat at my kitchen table and talked to me like, you're a good teacher. You can do this. Like, this is you've got this, right? Go on. I keep teaching. But every year, I don't want to be in the focus here.
You're not supposed to acknowledge that I'm pushing buttons over here, Allison.
Sorry. Anyway, so every year as a teacher, and of course I married a teacher too. Every year around like February, I would be staying up till 2:00 in the morning Googling, what can I do with a teaching degree? What can I do? And I knew I didn't want to go back to college because I didn't want to go into debt. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I would think like, do I want to go into corporate America? Do I want to be like a trainer? Like, I don't know. Does corporate America have like trainers? Like when new employees come in, they train them and they say like, teaching. What are you laughing?
Well, you said, does corporate America have a trainer? Like, it's like your job is just to train people. Like, you just walk in and just train people all the time.
Like adult education.
I guess so. I guess
adult, okay. Like a corporate education. Look, Beth Ann is typing. Maybe she's in corporate America. Maybe she's like, that's exactly what I do. I don't know. But okay. That was my I'm in a virtual assistant program full of ex-teachers. Yes, there's a lot of us ex-teachers. But I was always like, what do I want to do? But I could never come up with what I wanted to do. And then just the fear, right? The fear of leaving, the fear of stepping into something new, the fear of what if I leave teaching and then I hate the other job? What do I do? So I just basically held on. I was a really good teacher. I didn't like all the crap that came with teaching, right? All the difficult parents or the difficult administrators or all of the testing, all of the paperwork. Like that's what I didn't like about teaching. I liked the students and the relationships and the actual teaching part. But just like the high stakes of like, you have to get this kid has to pass. I mean, I don't know if you know about this, Chris, you probably don't, but like here in Texas, when you're trying to get meet these state goals, they would literally say, okay, here's your group of students, right? 20 students. These students, we know they're going to fail. and they're not going to make any progress. Don't worry about them. These students, we know they're going to pass, right? So don't spend your time on the students that are really, really low. We need the students right here in the middle that can make improvements. And those are who you need to focus on during these intervention times. And, the kids that are going to fail, they're going to fail. Just put them on a computer and let them go. And let's focus here on these kids and bring these kids up, because that'll have the biggest impact. And they're also, low socioeconomic status, and they're, Black or Hispanic, and they're things, so they call them like double and triple dippers. So they count more on your scores. Based on
really, there's like a scoring system.
There's a scoring system. And so if I had a student who had failed last year barely, and they were low SES, and they were a certain ethnicity, right? If they were those two things, and if they were special ed, if I could get them to pass, I get 3 points. Versus if I just have you, and you are just a regular kid that has none of these things, or you only have one of them, and I get you to pass, I only get 1 point. And so it's about getting a bigger increase of these things, so certain students count more, because you're saying hey, they have more weight, they have, so anyway, it was just so
a random system, a way of doing that.
It's not, I guess it's not random, but it was very much these kids over here, they're going to fail. And you know what? That one, this one's a triple dipper. They have, these 3 things that they're going to count on, these 3 things. So we need to make sure you focus on this kid, making this kid pass, and these 4 kids. And so to me, I hated that. I hated the politics of it, because I was like, this is how kids slip through the cracks. This is how, you're telling me to give up on these people. You're telling me not to, sorry about that. You're telling me not to worry about these people. It was very, very frustrating to me. So and this is in a testing grade, right? So young, you don't really have this. So every year, well, maybe you do, and I just don't know, because I never taught a young grade. But every year it was the same thing. So anyway, basically what ended up happening was I always knew I can't do this forever. 30 years, that's a joke. This is not going to happen. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was too scared. So one day I was, we had become debt free, and I really thought once we're done being debt free, I just won't talk about it anymore. I won't budget anymore. I just figured life would go back to normal. I continue to talk about it. And my cousin-in-law, Janet, she has her own online business, and she had a successful online business, still does. And she basically said, one day I was talking about becoming debt free, budgeting, personal finance, and she was like, Allison, just shut up. I was like, what? And
I'm not alone.
I know. Shut up. Oh my gosh. You and Janet have something in common. And so she basically said, we're done. You come here every year and you're talking about this. You clearly have a passion. You should start an online business. And I was like, what's an online business? Number one. And number two, there's already people doing that. People already can go to Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman or whatever. There's no one's going to listen to me. This is silly. No. And she was like, no, you should do it. You could sell printables, and you could start a blog, and you could do articles, and you could actually make money that way. And I'm like, what? You can actually make money that way? And so I thought about it, and kind of she just planted the seed. Right. And then I was very much the imposter syndrome of who would listen to me? What do I have to offer? I have no professional schooling, right? I don't have a finance degree. I just have real world experiences, right? Real life.
Yes, street knowledge.
Street knowledge, street cred. Knowledge. And exactly. And anyway, 2 weeks later, my mom was staying with us. She'd come up to visit, and my mom and Matt and I stayed up until 2:00 in the morning with a steno pad, and we were just brainstorming business names, and we came up with Inspired Budget. And how Allison left here, Jay.
Whoops.
Well, clearly Chris needs some Grammarly.
If only Allison was my teacher growing up.
Exactly. And so anyway, we bought the domain. I was like, what do I do? And Matt was like, well, the domain name is available. Just buy it. Just buy it. And my mom was like, yes, just do it. So we bought the domain. And then I was just like, okay, what do I do? And I think I read like Christy Wright's Business Boutique book, which was okay. And I just started. I just was like, okay, here we go. I have a website. I'm gonna start writing articles, and I'm gonna put these printables on Etsy. And yeah, and I just like very little, slowly but surely kind of started posting on started an Instagram, started all these things. And I guess like the Instagram kind of took off a little, like way faster than the blog. And than that. And so the Instagram took off, which was allowed me to, sell things. And within 2 years, I was able to essentially replace a teacher income, which I mean, isn't super impressive, but
I mean, replacing any income is very impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, don't feel that short.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'll be honest, the 2 years of doing both, it was hell. It was awful.
Oh, I can imagine.
Like it was.
Well, I mean, I know it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you just throw in like trying to be a good wife, which I was a crap wife, trying to be a good mom. I didn't feel like I was a good mom. I felt like I was just barely hanging on. I was in survival. And I felt like when my business was doing well, every other area of my life was just failing. Like if I could go back, that's what I would change. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if I would change it, because I would still want to do this, but I would find a way to have more balance, or I would find a way to have more boundaries, or I would have gone about building the business differently. Like I think I built slow, or I wasn't wise. Like I had no freaking clue what I was doing. I was just guessing. Right. So I think I would have
winging it.
Yeah, I was winging it. But I think if I were to go back and do this again, I would like buy a course and really learn how to do it right. And I don't know.
Well, sometimes it's the best way to learn is like just doing it, just like giving it a try, seeing how it goes, and you just gotta learn by doing.
Yes, exactly. And so we decided, actually my husband and I decided one day in marriage counseling. We were sitting in the counselor's office, and it was to the point where we were like, what, like our marriage was falling apart. What are we going to do? And he was just like, you can't keep doing both. And he was like, just quit your job. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, and it was pretty risky what we did. He was like, you've pretty much replaced your income. Like I'm not willing to, have our life continue the way it is. Just, you're done. Quit your job. So we found out in March, like that, we made that decision in March. And so I finished out the school year in May. And I quit teaching. I finished out 10 years teaching.
So how did that feel? Like making that leap and saying,
oh my gosh, it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying.
Because I think sometimes it seems like, oh, everyone's like, yeah, I'm just jumping in, so excited, this is gonna be great. And
and that's one thing that really frustrates me. I don't know if anyone follows like these business people on Instagram, and they're like, oh my gosh, being an entrepreneur is the best thing in the world. And of course it has it does have its has its benefits. However, being an entrepreneur does not comes with a sacrifice. And what is it that you're willing to sacrifice? I was sacrificing my family. I was sacrificing my marriage. And looking back, I'm like, dang, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have sacrificed like that. Like my marriage could have ended, right? My kids, had they been older, could have had like serious resentment issues with me. And because it's so impossible to be able to focus on everything, right?
True.
It is. It's so hard. It's impossible to do it all. You can't do it all. And so leaving it felt very freeing. Leaving teaching felt freeing. And it felt like, okay, I have this time. I've been given the gift of time, and we had money in savings. And then after leaving it, my mindset suddenly shifted to fear of like, holy crap, I don't have a consistent income. I'm like, what happens if I don't make enough money? I can't, like, we rely on my income to pay for our bills. I was essentially paying myself what I was bringing home as a teacher. So everything stayed the same, but it was very, very scary. And Chris and I have talked about this personally, about how I really struggled with I guess, what would you say, Chris? Like the fear of failure.
Yeah, like the underlying fear of like, this is all going to fall apart, or I have to
Yes.
hustle super hard right now because I don't know how long this is going to last for.
Exactly. And so I dealt, and I still struggle with some of that fear of Chris would be like, Allison, if you take a break, your business is still going to be here. And I was like, I can't take a break. I have to work and work. And he was just like,
I gotta hustle.
I got it. Yeah. And it was that falling into that hustle culture, but I wasn't falling into the hustle culture because I wanted to live up to what someone else thought of me. I was falling into the hustle culture because I thought if I didn't hustle, I wouldn't be able to pay my bills. Right. Like I was so scared. I made myself go into this hustle culture out of fear. Not because I was like, I want bigger and better. And I was just like, I just want to stay the same. But it was so interesting because I would talk about it with you, and I would talk about it with like Matt and my therapist, and everyone was like, no, like, Allison, stop. And then I hit a wall, and I found myself, I'm done, no longer working as a teacher. We've moved closer to family. I'm working on my business full time. And it was right before the pandemic hit. It was like February 2020. And I hit this wall, and I had a panic attack in my closet. It was after my kids. I picked up my kids from school, and I just had this terrible, terrible panic attack. And I went into my closet, and I could not breathe. Sorry, this is getting kind of sad.
I know.
And
Well, hey, it's real. It's what happened.
It's real. And I had to call my husband, and I was like, I can't care for my kids. Like, I could not stop crying. I was like Googling on my phone as I was like having trouble breathing, like how to overcome a panic attack. I was like trying to download the Calm app, and I was like, what? It's a subscription. It was terrible. The boys were like knocking. I was like, just eat whatever you want. Like freaking out, curled in this ball. I called him and I said, you have to leave now. Like, you have to leave and come home. I cannot function. And so I just let the boys eat whatever they wanted out of the pantry and watch TV until Matt got home like 45 minutes later. And he was just like, you can't keep doing this. Like, you are so stressed, and you are the only person putting this stress on you. And I had a therapy appointment the next day. I just happened to have a therapy appointment already scheduled the next day. It was great timing. And Matt was like, you need to take time off of your work, your business. And I'm pretty sure you, Chris, were probably saying the same thing. And I was like, no. My therapist was like, you need to take time off. Like, you can't keep functioning like this. Like, your health is draining. Like, everything's going so bad. Yeah. And so I was like, okay. I was like, but what do I do? I just lay around? Like, what?
Like a bum?
Yes. Like, I take my kids to school and I just lay around. And my husband was like, yes, like binge Netflix, lay around, order food. And so I said, okay, well, I already have these things scheduled to post. I'll post those, and I'll do the bare minimum. I'll just like answer the most important emails. And I did that for like 4 days. And then like 2 weeks later, the world shut down. And I really saw that because in those 4 days, I was able to like process a lot of things and face some of those fears and insecurities and limiting beliefs, and realize like I was just so scared of failure. Like, hey, Allison, if you fail, you fail. Like, failure isn't the worst thing in the world. And you're just scared. That's all it is. And like 2 weeks later, the world shut down. And I truly believe, like, personally, and if anyone else can feel differently, that's fine. That was like God's way of being like, you better freaking pull your crap together, because we're about to have the world fall apart, and you need to have a better mental headspace before we go into this. Because then when that happened, my business did take a hit. And
I remember that.
What?
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. So I feel like that was very much, I don't know. I feel like that was like God being like, get ready, buckle up. Here we go. But maybe it wasn't. I don't know. So that's my kind of like super simplified story that I just elaborated on way too much.
I mean, that was all part of the journey. That was all part of the journey. And I think it just goes to show how scary it is to
It is.
do that.
And I know you and I have talked about this, like on Instagram, when people are like, oh, it's like, I feel like entrepreneurs only show the best parts of it.
Well, and then they're like, everyone, quit your job. Don't be a tool for the man. Why would you go to a job and get the health insurance and a paycheck? That's stupid. You should do is take on all the financial responsibility yourself and start an LLC. And I'm like, an LLC for what? Like, just for like, what's your business? You're just gonna have an LLC and that's it? Like, it's not a business.
Just your name, first name, last name, LLC.
Just start the LLC, put your name on it. People are gonna put money in your bank account. That's how it works. But yeah, no, it's not all it seems, and I think I agree that there's nothing wrong with having a day job.
Oh my gosh, there is nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong at all. It's actually it can be very amazing, especially if you're in a good work environment. That's the hard part, is finding the good work environment.
Exactly. It's not necessarily even about the work sometimes. It's just having a supportive boss, having friends. Beth Ann just said it's really easy to feel like you need to work all the time. And I really, really struggle with wanting to work all the time because it's just literally right here in my home, to the point where I'm like, should I go rent an office space? And then I'm like, that's a waste of money. I have an office. But it's just like having the physical detachment.
Having the separation, that space sometimes is what you need.
Exactly. So anyway, what about you, Chris? You had a very different experience. I feel like yours was like a smoother, healthier transition.
Mine was a much different experience when it came to leaving my day job. So let me think back.
And when you say leaving your day job, we mean you're still at your day job 20 hours a week, right? Or how many hours?
Yeah, like I think right now I'm working 18 hours a week, roughly 2 days a week is when I'm working. And I had no plans initially of leaving my day job.
I know, because you liked your day job. I mean, you still do, right? Yeah.
I like the people I work with. It's very close to where I live because I moved to be closer to my day job. And really, I started my podcast like 4.5 years ago. It was the summer of 2017. And that was really just all a lead up.
That's when I started mine, summer of 2017, or it was like April of 2017.
Like our whole journey, we started roughly right at the same time, which is really weird.
Yeah, and then we met like 9 months after starting.
Yeah. So like we were both still super new in what we were trying to do. Yeah, you've definitely progressed faster than I did. I was much slower to make changes. Well,
I progressed faster at a cost.
True, that's true.
I mean, it comes at a cost, and that's what people don't talk about. So, okay, so you started your podcast in 2017, and you were like, "This is a hobby, right? Weren't you like, this would be a fun hobby?"
Well, see, I'm someone who, like, even though, I'm super risk averse. Like, I don't take a bunch of risks. I don't just try random stuff all the time. Well, I say this. I don't just jump out and I'm just going to do this. But I like to just try things. And I really like to make stuff. I think that's why I was an art major when I went into college. Because I just like creating things. Like, I need to find these videos. My friends and I used to make these, like, random movies.
Were they like on your tripod? Like
it was one of those big actually, hold on. I'm gonna grab it. I have it over here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm putting you're gonna be the main one on the screen here because I'm going to grab.
Why don't you just leave? Okay, Chris had like, is it like when you did like Jackass videos? Do y'all remember that? Remember that on MTV? My brother did that with his friends. They would just film themselves doing the most ridiculously stupid things. And I remember being like, this is so dangerous. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. Okay. Shirley says, I prefer to work at home. I've been doing it for about 13 years now. Wow. But I do have some on-site time when needed. That's a long time to work at home. And I guess it's just, you're used to it. Okay. Chris is back.
Okay. So me and my friends would like to make like these random movies. And it was just, I don't know where I got into doing this, but here is the camera, Allison. This is the camera.
Oh, man.
I recorded these movies on. It is a JVC, whatever this is. I don't even know what the name is. This GRXM 730 because they named stuff great names back in the day.
Gosh, look at that! Look at that with the eyepiece. You look into it.
Oh, and also, hold on. There's a flip out screen.
Now that's just fancy. Ours didn't have that.
And how do I open this up? there's a little compartment in here for like a little
Mm-hmm.
tiny VHS tape. I don't know
Yep.
where it goes. It goes in there
And then you
somewhere.
put that into a regular VHS.
Yes, you put
And
that
then you
into
put that. Yes.
you put that
Yes.
into a bigger a regular size VHS cassette, and you put that into your VCR. And so I would record these movies. And I remember we made one called Superboy. And my friend, they were super short because I mean, I wasn't recording
Yeah.
long form movies
Were
on
you
this
doing
thing.
like Jackass type stuff? Like doing
No, no,
stupid
no,
stuff?
no.
Oh.
We were making very bootleg movies, and I
You're
remember,
like, oh no, we were more sophisticated than
oh yeah,
that.
no, no, no. We had class and taste, Allison, and
I'm
we,
like your family.
yeah, I don't know what you were doing, but so my friend TJ, he was the star of this movie. I was never in them. I always was the one recording them and
That's
editing them. I never
that's
wanted to be on camera because
very on brand for you. Okay.
exactly. And so this short film we made, it was about a boy who got superpowers. And the way he tested those powers out was on the basketball court. And so
Oh, that's
we
sweet.
went down the street because we always played basketball in front of my house. We had a basketball court
Mhm.
there. We played like every day after school. And how it worked was he went down to one end of the street and I was recording him. And so he took the ball and he threw it, right? And then we cut. And then I found that there was this mode where it made it look like you were moving super fast. And so then I recorded
Oh.
him running down the street and then we cut. And then I got real close to the basketball court and we started again. And then someone threw the ball to him and he dunked it. So it was like he threw an alley oop to himself from down the
Oh
street.
my gosh.
So these were the random things that we used to make on this
That's
camera
impressive.
here.
Have you ever had those transferred to digital?
No, I really need to. I think they're at my parents' house. I know the
Okay.
cassette adapter, and I don't have a VCR either, so that
Well,
makes it
good luck finding
hard as
one.
well.
My
Um,
my brother made a whole bunch of home videos with some friends growing up, and actually one of his friends passed away at like 20. And so my brother took all of those videos and sent them off and had them all sent digitally and gave it to his parents. And so his parents got to watch these videos of their son that they had never seen before, of him like in high school doing ridiculously stupid stuff, like sledding off of the roof into the above ground pool, like things like that. But
all those memories. Like
he,
kids today, they don't understand the fact that it was so hard to record stuff. Like I wasn't
oh
taking
yeah,
this to school. I wasn't walking around with this thing, and
yeah, I
it didn't hold
know.
battery. I don't even know how this
If you
battery probably doesn't
were
even work
walking around
anymore.
with it, you'd be the coolest kid there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got to
Look
pop
at
my
that.
battery off. Got to bring extra batteries with me. It's a whole thing.
I
Uh,
asked Evan the other day, how do you take a video? How would you take a video of someone? And he went like this.
he doesn't go like this or
Yeah,
like that.
no. And I said, how would you take a picture? And he did the same thing. I was like, oh my God. I said, how would you roll down the window? And he went, like,
Oh
like
no,
how would you someone to roll down the window? Not
they don't
this.
understand the arm strength you build up rolling
Yes.
down your
Only on one
passenger side
arm.
window.
Oh goodness. Okay. So
So yeah, I,
2017, you start this.
yeah.
You're go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I cut you off. Go for it.
I was just recapping your own story. So
Just
go
a real
ahead.
quick intro for me. Yeah, I like making things. It was always something I
Mhm.
enjoyed doing, and I listened to a bunch of podcasts, and I drove all the time because I'm in Southern California and there's traffic
Mm.
everywhere. And I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I think at the time I was running a payroll department, so I became a payroll like manager essentially. Out of nowhere, I never did. I somehow found myself doing payroll because I
Okay.
worked while I was in college. The first 3 years I worked at Sears selling tools. I sold like, drills and hammers and lawnmowers and paint and all this stuff. And it was fun at times, but it was a horrible. I hated it. By like
Mhm.
the first year, I hated being there. So then
Yeah.
I got a job at a bank and I was a teller. And then I got a promotion. I got to be a banker. As people open up bank accounts, but I got to go and get my like licenses for like selling,
Oh.
very simple investment products and insurance. Horrible salesperson. I don't know if you knew that, Allison. Horrible at selling things, especially things I don't believe in. Uh,
Yeah.
and at the same time, I was in college studying finance, which I kind of just fell into because I went in as an art major.
Mm. As an art major.
Yeah, I went to college as an art major. I was an art
What?
major for, okay, in college or in high school, I joined this program called the Art Academy.
Oh,
And
look at
I
you.
never was an artist growing up. I didn't draw at all, but
Okay.
I really loved like creating things. And so I had to
Mhm.
create a portfolio. So I just started practicing and I kind of learned how to draw. And
Yeah.
I created a portfolio. I submitted it in eighth grade, going into ninth grade, and they accepted me. And so I joined this
Wow.
program. And it was great, but I wasn't like a hand drawing artist. That wasn't really my strength. I
Mm-hmm.
really like working with computers, and I love making like
Mm-hmm.
3D animation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I ended up leaving the program like my second year because I wanted to join the track team because I wanted a Letterman jacket. Very dumb reasons
You didn't get a Letterman jacket for being in the art academy? You should have.
with a big paintbrush over
it.
here.
Yeah. Why not?
No, believe it
A
or not, they don't give you
camcorder patch. Wonder if they had those.
Yeah, believe it or not, they don't give you a patch for doing art in high school. It's crazy.
That's stupid.
But when it came time to apply for college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was like, well, I did art for a while. I really liked it. I don't know what else I'd do. So I just put art on my application for college. And I got there, wasn't as passionate about it as everyone else. And we had to do like these crazy projects. It had nothing to do with computers. So I was very disappointed. And just by chance, my college I went to they had a really good business program. I think they had like the largest business program in Southern California.
Oh.
And so I was taking a finance class. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And eventually, long story short, it made me change I changed my major to finance and with the emphasis on financial planning.
Oh, look at you.
Like I got to go through they teach you how to read insurance policies, how to create, like the final project was how to create and develop a financial plan for someone.
God, that sounds so boring.
It was so great. Random enough, it was for the youth pastor at my church. He let me create a financial plan for him. Yeah, I was like, "Are you sure you want to tell me all your personal financial information?"
I know, right?
But
at least he had nothing to hide, right?
Yeah. I found no embezzlement, so he's clean. But I graduated 2009.
No embezzlement.
I graduate. There's it's the recession. I can't find work for nothing. Like no one's hiring except for these like scammy jobs where they're like, why don't you come here to our office and write down the names and email addresses of everyone you know, and that's how we start your business. Like, no,
yeah,
not doing that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, fast forward. I'm running a payroll department, and I'm hating it because payroll kills your soul, Alice. I don't know if you've ever known someone who's running a payroll department, but you just do the same thing every 2 weeks. Forever.
My friend Sarah just started that job, so I'm not going to tell her about this conversation.
Don't tell her that it kills your soul, but it does.
Okay.
Every 2 weeks, you're doing the same thing, and people come in and ask you the same questions that they already know the answer to.
Okay.
And you just keep doing it over and over again. And there was an app I found. It's called Anchor, and it's different from what it is today. But basically, it was kind of like Instagram stories, but audio only. And you could record audio and you could add little music drops in there and all this stuff. And then it would kind of just go out there and then it would disappear 24 hours later. And then that was it. And then one day they made an update to where you could turn it into an actual podcast feed. So I've been doing the whole audio stories for a month. And then when that feature came out, I was like, oh, okay, let's make this into a podcast. Because years before that, I came up with the idea for Popcorn Finance. And I just never did anything with it. Like 3 years ago, 3 years prior to this, I had come up with the concept and the name.
Really?
And I just sat on it. And I was just like, I don't know if this will be good. And who's going to listen to this? And when they made the update, I was like, well, here, let me just do it. Let me make an episode and see what happens. And it kind of just started from there. And so I didn't go into any of this with the idea of, oh, you know what, I'm going to become a full-time podcaster. I'm going to leave my job. It was never that. It was always
fun.
It was just fun. I was like, yeah, I enjoyed doing it. I got to talk about stuff I didn't really get to talk about at my day job. And it literally just kind of by accident just started to just gain traction. Because I was working at it really hard. I was like, I was coming up with ideas. I had a little book where I wrote my notes down.
You had your diary, your Popcorn Finance diary.
It's actually, I don't want to get up again, but it's over there. It's in my closet, the notebook I wrote all the things in.
Yesterday, I had Allison Backerly on as a guest.
I don't know if this podcast will ever survive.
Rude.
Will this kill the show? I don't know.
Or will it just push me into the next amazing space?
You never know. But I don't want to miss the chat here. Beth Ann said she graduated in 2008 too, and it was the worst to find jobs. It was. You couldn't find a job anywhere. It was just no one was hiring.
I found a job as a teacher. So
good for you, Allison.
That worked. But you know why? It's because they were asking all the old teachers to retire. Yeah, so that way they could get the new teachers in and pay them less, because they were ultimately paying them less than they would a teacher that had been there for years and years and years and years. So
Yeah.
it saved the district money to do that. So they were offering these incentives. Isn't that crazy? It's all about money.
It is kicking those old teachers out.
Yeah, seriously, for
Yeah.
real. So you gained traction, and then within your second year, you won an award.
It was like the start of my second year. I won Best New Podcast.
Yes, you did.
And then it kind of just started gaining momentum. Like I got to talk to a couple of reporters. Shout out to Liz Weston. I think she's with NerdWallet right now. She's the one who like connected me to be like a part of like a feature in an article for NerdWallet. And then they kept coming back to me every year to talk to me.
Oh, that's cool.
And then like someone would see me do something and say, hey, are you interested in being interviewed for this? And it just kind of organically just started to gain traction. Like I wasn't doing anything in particular to try to get like attention, but I was
doors just opened.
Yeah. I was just trying really hard. I was like, I just want to make this a really good show. And it just, I think the first 3 years, several times I wanted to quit.
Yes, you did.
I was like, you know what? This is a lot of work. Like going to work every single day and then working and recording at night and editing on the weekends and doing all the social media stuff. I was done. I was like, I was like, do I really want to do this? Because what's happened? Like, I don't have to do this. I'm just doing this because I want to do this. And although the show is kind of gaining a little bit of traction, it's a lot of work. And I would like to just do nothing when I come home. I wanted to sit down.
So you know what you did, right? You called me up and you said, Allison, let's start a podcast.
that came much after.
I'm not sure if I want to do my podcast anymore. So let me add on to my plate and let's start a podcast, me and you. And I remember I was like, no, we're not doing that. And then I told Matt about it. And Matt said, oh my gosh, you'll have to do that. Remember?
Hold on, wait, remind me of this. I don't think I remember this.
You wanted to start a podcast. I was like, I don't know, Chris. It sounds like a lot of work. Chris, I don't know. You don't even have time, Chris.
You shoot it down. I forgot. Okay.
I need to let things simmer. I don't make decisions like this. I'm not super impulsive. I need to let things simmer.
When you think of it, you're impulsive. But when Chris says, Chris, I don't know. We really need to take several months to think about this.
Yes. And then I was telling about it with Matt, or maybe you and I were Marco Poloing, and Matt was like, oh my gosh, yes, y'all should do that. Y'all should totally start a podcast. And I was just like, okay, Chris, let's go and start a podcast. So anyway.
Wait, that came after my burnout had started to go away. A little bit after that.
Yeah. I remember you in your burnout phase.
It was bad. But what would happen every time I was ready to kind of quit?
I remember this.
Something would pop up.
Something big. Something exciting would happen.
Exactly. Like, oh, I got to go on Yahoo and do like one of their segments, or I got like a new sponsor. Like these little things, these things will pop up that I wasn't expecting that kind of re-energized me.
Yes. And then you get burnout and you'd say, Allison, I think I want to quit. And then you'd get like this freaking amazing opportunity and you'd be like, I guess I shouldn't quit.
Exactly. And I think what helped, the space between those opportunities started to shrink. It used to be like months, like it would be months of nothing and me just working, and then something would pop up. But then they started to get shorter and shorter and shorter to where they started happening on a more regular basis. And I was like, okay, I had enough continual motivation to keep going. And it prevented me from quitting the podcast, because I was really going to just stop. I was really going to just say, you know what, I'm done. I'm over it.
Well, yeah, I mean, whenever you're doing something and you're not, you can't see the reward, sometimes you lose sight of the reward, right? Yeah. And I think that it's totally normal. You had been doing it for a long time. You had lost sight of these rewards. Sorry if you can hear my dog being crazy in the background. Can you not hear that? Oh my gosh. Oh, you're so lucky. I wish I could hear him. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think that that's a totally normal thing that people go through, right? Just with anything in life, you just kind of, I mean, just think about like someone on their money journey or their debt-free journey or their investing journey, just all these things. It's like when you lose sight of the reward, that's when we slip and we're just like, wait, why am I doing this again? Is this really worth it? And you hit those points because you're normal, you're human, you're not a robot. So I love
as much
it.
as I want to be a robot, no, it doesn't actually happen. It's not a real thing for me. And it was just even last year, I wasn't planning on quitting my job. Like I had no intentions of quitting last year. It was just like, I'm just going to keep going. I was like, I started to save as if, if an opportunity presents itself, I want to be financially stable. So I was like, let me save more money. And so I started doing that last year with no idea of what was going to happen. And then an opportunity popped up.
Do you want to talk about that opportunity?
Can I talk about it? I think it's launched now. It's a thing now, so I can talk
about it. Go ahead, talk about it.
So I started working with a federal credit union on the East Coast called Reliant. They reached out to me and they were interested in having me do like all of their educational videos. So like I'm doing kind of similar to what I do on Popcorn Finance. I'm doing like these short form videos talking about investing and paying off debt and budgeting and all this stuff. And when they reached out to me, I was like, this sounds like a really cool thing. I'm already kind of doing something similar to this. They were really excited. It seemed like a really cool group of people to work with. And so I was like, okay. And that was when I was like, okay, I think this is a good time. I think this is a good time to go. I'm stable enough, even though I'm still scared to make the leap. I was like, I'm stable enough. I've saved. I've done all this stuff. I paid off the debt. If the thought was, if not now, when would I ever try this? Like, if this is not a good time to give this a try, when
it was
else
a really
would I do
good
it?
opportunity, and I think also it was a long-term opportunity. So you're working with them for a long time, which is, which has that sense of security. It gives you that sense of security. So that's good. I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you. So yeah, it's called Money Burst. If you want to go look it up, we're just starting to put some stuff out. And yeah, so I transitioned started this year. I went part-time, I think the third week of January. So I'm working 2 days a week at the day job. And then the rest of the week I work on all the other stuff I need to do. And then at some point between now and summertime, I'll officially completely step away. So it's
very exciting,
scary, but also very exciting at the same time. I'm balancing it. I'm trying to push the excitement side of the scale up and push the scary side down.
Yeah. You had a better balance, I think, than I did of it all.
Did I though? I don't think I had much balance.
No, I guess you didn't have much balance with your time. I think though that you're just in a different stage of life than I was in. And so when I was working, I think that I don't know. I don't know.
Well, also what I did was, I think what I was doing was just solely a podcast. That was what I was focused on, which is a lot different. Doing a weekly under 10-minute podcast is a lot different from running a whole blog and social media empire. It's a different process. It's a different time commitment as well.
Yeah. Don't call it an empire.
Empire.
Take it away at any minute. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. So, well, this was fun. I enjoyed this. I'm glad we got to do it. See, I told you it's interesting. It's interesting to hear people's stories. Just like you said, you like to listen to that that podcast about how people built their business.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't want to force the story on anyone. I was like, that's not what we do. We don't talk about our business stories necessarily, but
it's also about our life.
That's true.
And that is sometimes what we do on the Patreon episodes. People get access to more about us and our life and how annoying my dog is. Barking in the background.
Exactly. It's a little bit looser format. If someone's catching this now and they're not normally listening to us, this is normally our patron chat here. We're testing this out. We want to try live streaming it because we were using something else and it was not going well at all. And so we're testing this out.
And Beth Ann says these are fun. So if you're one of the lucky people that's actually catching this live and you are not a Patreon member, because I know we're going to be taking this down, this is what we do. This is what you get access to. We talk, we laugh, we have fun, we talk back and forth with the people while we're recording live. It's a special fun thing, and you should join. thisisawkward.com/Patreon. Nope, that's not it. Patreon.com/This Is Awkward Podcast.
It's only on the screen, Allison. It's only on the screen.
Whatever. I was like, I said it and I was like, that's backwards.
This doesn't seem right. But I think next week we're gonna go out. We'll push live the main episode. So these Patreon ones, we're gonna figure out how to stream this, but then also keep it just for our patrons. But the regular ones we'll be pushing out on YouTube. I'll do Facebook. And I didn't know you can stream on Twitter. I don't know how that works. I didn't know that was a thing.
Does this mean I have to wear makeup when we record from now on?
I mean, are you wearing makeup right now?
Yes.
Oh, well then, yeah,
Not
there you go.
Good makeup, apparently. I don't know.
Well, I don't want to assume. What you're doing over there. I'm wearing just a light foundation. I went really easy on the eyeliner. I didn't want to go, get too wild because
Okay, on that note, we will be recording the same time, same place next week, right?
Yeah. So next Friday, 10. Since we figured this out, it'll be 10:20 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That makes it 1:20 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yes.
That's when we'll be going live and doing our next episode. Will be episode 46 of the podcast. Yes. And actually, I already have the topic. Believe it or not, Allison, we already have the topic together. It is
on it.
Let me see. I just sent it to you. So this is a listener.
Oh yeah, I didn't read it.
They have a friend. I know you didn't read it. They have a friend who never pays anything on time. They don't pay their bills on time. They don't pay their
life on the edge. On time.
And they're like, what do I do? Do I talk to them about it? Should I say anything? Do I still need to be friends with this person? It's a really interesting one. So I'm excited to dive into this one next week.
Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about it next week. I'm excited.
All right. So I guess that's it. I guess we've made it to the end here. So
yay! I have so many questions, Beth Ann says. So do I. It's going to be good. Yeah. Be sure to join us live next week, 10:20 a.m.
10:20 a.m. Pacific Standard. I guess I could have put that on the screen, huh?
1:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it'll be what, here on YouTube? Like how this all
Yeah, so we'll do it on YouTube, we'll do it on Facebook, and we'll do it on, how about Twitter? I want to see how that works.
Okay. We'll see how that goes. Sounds good.
All right, so I think that's it. This is the end of the episode officially. Boom.
Yeah.
So we're still here.
What do I do though? What do I press? I have to go to a meeting. What do I do?
Excuse me. Excuse me, Allison.
Well, it started on time, Chris.
No, I'm joking. All right, let me get out of here. I'll stop the stream. We'll catch you all next week.
Bye. Where do I save this? Like, where